Tired of being ignored? Want people to really listen? In this video, we'll reveal 5 powerful NLP techniques to command attention instantly. We've all been there. You're talking, but no one seems to be truly listening. Maybe you're in a group conversation and struggling to be heard, or perhaps you're giving a presentation and notice people's eyes glazing over. It's a frustrating experience, and it can leave you feeling undervalued and ignored. The ability to capture and hold someone's attention is a valuable skill. Whether you're a leader, a salesperson, a teacher, or simply someone who wants to connect more effectively with others, mastering the art of influence can significantly improve your personal and professional life. Neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, offers a set of powerful tools and techniques for understanding and influencing human behavior. While NLP has sometimes been met with skepticism, many of its principles are based on sound psychological concepts, such as the power of nonverbal communication, the importance of framing, and the workings of the subconscious mind. In this video, we'll explore 5 NLP-based techniques that can help you command attention and make people listen to you, often within a matter of seconds. 1. The power of anchoring, triggering a desired response. Anchoring is a core NLP concept that involves associating a specific stimulus, a touch, a word, a gesture, with a particular emotional state. Once the association is strong enough, the stimulus can trigger that emotional state in the person almost automatically. Think of Pavlov's dogs. The bell, stimulus, became associated with food emotional state, and eventually, the bell alone was enough to make the dog salivate. In humans, anchors can be just as powerful, though often more subtle. Here's how to use anchoring to command attention. Identify the desired state. Decide what emotional state you want the person to experience. For example, you might want them to feel focused, interested, or receptive. Choose your anchor. Select a unique and discrete stimulus that you can easily replicate. This could be a light touch on the wrist, a specific word or phrase, or a subtle gesture. Apply the anchor at peak state. The key is to apply the anchor when the person is already experiencing the desired emotional state. For instance, if you're telling a story and the person is clearly engaged and excited, that's the moment to apply your anchor. Reinforce the anchor. Repeat the process several times, pairing the anchor with the desired state. The more you reinforce the association, the stronger it will become. Trigger the anchor. Once the anchor is established, you can trigger the desired state by simply applying the stimulus. Example: let's say you're in a meeting and want to ensure people are attentive when you speak. You could use a light touch on their wrist as your anchor. Throughout the meeting, as people express enthusiastic agreement or seem particularly engaged, subtly touch their wrist. After a few repetitions, that touch will become associated with that positive, attentive state. Later, when you want to make a crucial point, a light touch on their wrist will help them to immediately become more focused and receptive. 2. The art of pacing and leading, establishing rapport and influence. Pacing and leading is a technique that involves first establishing rapport with someone by pacing their current state, and then gently guiding them to a desired state by leading. The idea is that people are more likely to be influenced by those they feel are similar to them and understand them. By mirroring certain aspects of their behavior and communication, you create a sense of connection and trust, making them more open to your influence. Here's how to use pacing and leading to command attention. Pace their current state. Observe the person's current state. This includes their body language, posture, gestures, their voice, tone, pace, volume, and their words, language patterns, key phrases. Mirror their behavior. Subtly mirror some aspects of their behavior. You might adopt a similar posture, use a similar tone of voice, or use some of their preferred language patterns. Acknowledge their perspective. Show that you understand their point of view by summarizing what they've said and acknowledging their feelings. Lead to the desired state. Once you've established rapport, you can start to gently guide them towards a more receptive or attentive state. You might shift your own posture to be more upright and confident, modulate your voice to be more engaging, or introduce new ideas or perspectives. Example: Imagine you're in a conversation with someone who is initially quite skeptical and closed off. To pace them, you might mirror their slightly reserved posture, speak in a calm and measured tone, and acknowledge their concerns by saying something like, "I understand you have some reservations about this, and that's perfectly valid." As you continue the conversation, you can start to lead them by gradually adopting a more open and confident posture, increasing your vocal energy, and presenting your ideas in a more positive and compelling way. By pacing their initial skepticism and then leading them towards a more open-minded state, you increase the likelihood that they will listen to you and consider your perspective. 3. The power of storytelling. Captivating attention and creating connection. Storytelling is a fundamental human skill that has been used for centuries to entertain, educate, and persuade. A well-told story can captivate an audience, evoke emotions, and create a strong sense of connection between the storyteller and the listener. Stories are powerful because they engage multiple areas of the brain, making them more memorable and impactful than simply presenting facts or arguments. They also trigger mirror neurons, which cause the listener to vicariously experience the emotions and sensations of the characters in the story. Here's how to use storytelling to command attention. Start with a hook. Begin your story with something that immediately grabs the listener's attention. This could be a surprising statement, a compelling question, or a vivid image. Create a sense of mystery or intrigue. Keep the listener guessing about what will happen next. Build suspense and create a desire to know more. Use vivid language and sensory details. Paint a picture with your words. Use descriptive language and sensory details to make the story come alive for the listener. Incorporate emotions. Make the listener feel something. Whether it's joy, sadness, excitement, or fear, emotions make stories more engaging and memorable. Make it relatable. Connect the story to the listener's own experiences or values. This will make the story more meaningful and impactful for them. Deliver a powerful message. Use the story to illustrate a key point or to convey a message that you want the listener to remember. Example, instead of saying, "We need to improve our communication skills," you could tell a story. "I once worked with a team that was incredibly talented, but they struggled to collaborate effectively. Meetings were often unproductive, deadlines were missed, and there was a lot of frustration and conflict. One day, we decided to try a new approach, focusing on active listening and clear communication. At first, it felt a little awkward, but gradually, something amazing happened. Team members started to really hear each other, ideas flowed more freely, and we began to achieve our goals with much less effort. The transformation was remarkable, and that's why I believe that improving our communication skills is not just a nice-to-have. It's essential for our success. This story is more likely to capture people's attention and make them listen than simply stating the need for better communication. The story creates a sense of intrigue, evokes emotions, and makes the message more relatable and memorable. 4. The precision questioning, guiding attention and uncovering needs. Precision questioning is a technique that involves asking carefully crafted questions to direct someone's attention, uncover their underlying needs, and guide them toward a desired outcome. Rather than making assumptions or trying to force your own agenda, precision questioning allows you to understand the other person's perspective, identify their motivations, and tailor your communication to be more persuasive. Here's how to use precision questioning to command attention. Start with open-ended questions. Begin by asking questions that encourage the person to talk freely and provide detailed answers. Examples include, "What are your thoughts on this? What's important to you about this? And what would be the ideal outcome?" Use clarifying questions. Ask questions to ensure that you fully understand what the person is saying. Examples include, "Could you tell me more about that? What do you mean by, and can you give me a specific example?" Identify their values and criteria. Ask questions to uncover what is most important to the person. Examples include, "What are your top priorities? What do you value most in this situation? And what criteria will you use to evaluate success?" Explore their desired outcome. Ask questions to help the person clarify what they want to achieve. Examples include, "What is your goal? What would you like to happen? And what would be the perfect solution?" Guide them toward a solution. Once you understand their needs and desires, You can ask questions to guide them towards a solution that meets their criteria. Examples include, how would this option address your concerns? What would be the benefits of this approach? And what steps could we take to make this happen? Example, imagine you're trying to persuade a client to invest in your product. Instead of launching into a sales pitch, you could use precision questioning. What are your biggest challenges in this area? Open-ended. Could you tell me more about the impact of those challenges? Clarifying. What are your top priorities when it comes to finding a solution? Values/criteria. What would be the ideal outcome of this investment? Desired outcome. How would our product address those specific challenges and help you achieve that ideal outcome? Guiding to a solution. By using precision questioning, you demonstrate that you are genuinely interested in the client's needs and that you are not just trying to sell them something. This builds trust and makes them more likely to listen to your recommendations. 5. The power of framing. Influencing perception and shaping reality. Framing is a technique that involves presenting information in a way that influences how it is perceived and interpreted. The way you frame a situation, a question, or a proposal can significantly impact how others respond to it. For example, if you frame a glass of water as half full, it will be perceived more positively than if you frame it as half empty. The content is the same, but the framing changes the perception. Here's how to use framing to command attention. Identify your objective. Determine what you want the person to think, feel, or do. Choose your frame. Select a frame that will support your objective. This could involve emphasizing certain aspects of the information, using specific language, or telling a particular story. Present your information within the frame. Communicate your message in a way that is consistent with your chosen frame. Example, let's say you want to persuade your team to embrace a new, challenging project. You could frame it in several ways. Negative frame. This project is going to be incredibly difficult and we'll have to work long hours with tight deadlines. There's a high risk of failure and we'll be under a lot of pressure. Positive frame. This project is an incredible opportunity for us to showcase our skills, push our boundaries, and achieve something truly remarkable. It's a chance to make a real difference and to grow both individually and as a team. The positive frame is much more likely to capture your team's attention and inspire them to embrace the challenge. By framing the project as an opportunity rather than a burden, you influence their perception and make them more receptive to your message. Inserting these techniques into small talk. These techniques aren't just for formal presentations or high-pressure negotiations. They can be seamlessly integrated into everyday small talk to make your interactions more engaging and influential. Here's how. Use anchoring subtly. During casual conversation, you can anchor positive feelings by lightly touching someone's arm when they laugh or express enthusiasm. Pace and lead in conversations. Pay attention to the other person's body language and speaking style, and subtly mirror them to establish rapport. Then, gently steer the conversation towards topics you want to discuss. Tell engaging stories. Instead of just stating facts or opinions, weave them into short, relatable stories that capture attention and create connection. Ask curious questions. Use precision questioning to show genuine interest in the other person and to guide the conversation in a productive direction. Frame your contributions positively. When expressing your opinions or sharing information, frame them in a way that is engaging and persuasive. A word of caution, the ethics of influence. These NLP-based techniques are powerful tools, and like any powerful tool, they can be used for good or for ill. It's crucial to use them ethically and responsibly. Here are some guidelines to keep in mind. Respect autonomy. Never use these techniques to manipulate or coerce someone into doing something against their will. Seek win-win outcomes. Aim to create outcomes that are beneficial for everyone involved. Be transparent. Be open and honest in your communication. Avoid deception or trickery. Use them for good. Use these techniques to build positive relationships, to help others, and to make a positive impact on the world. The goal is to enhance your ability to connect with others, to communicate your message effectively, and to build genuine influence, not to control or manipulate people.